I wasn't going to make a video for about a month, but I was thinking about this last night and a few things have happened. And I thought I'd talk about this concept of not yet and how to deal with the weight. And for once, I'm not actually talking about weight as in body weight. I'm talking about weight as in the weight to find someone. And it's all well and good people putting out content saying, oh yeah, being single's great and how to be single. The reality is most people want to find someone. I only create videos that relate to me. I will never make a video that I'm not going through or doesn't relate to me. Like, I will not sit here and make, how to have a happy relationship videos when I'm single, because that doesn't feel authentic to me. And sometimes I see people and they make content and they're just like, oh, I'm fascinated by the dating market at the moment. And I kind of sit there and think, that's all well and good for you, but I'm actually going through this and I'm living this and this is my life and I'm struggling to find someone. And sometimes it's a bit annoying when people almost sit on the outside as a third party and look in at the dating situation and just oversee it and make commentaries on it when they're not even in that space. They're not even dating. And sometimes I just feel like, shut the fuck up. Only talk about what's relevant to you. The reality is, A, it's harder for women to find relationships because of what I've talked about. If there is more of a reluctance for men to settle down, to want a relationship because of so many social factors, as I've said, and men don't have that pressure of the clock. They don't have to sit there and think, oh, I'm in my early 30s, I need to find someone. There isn't that pressure for men. They can go on a few dates, maybe have sex with someone and, get to know someone, and there isn't that pressure for men. The only way men get pressure is as they get older, say they're getting to the 40s, there tends to be that societal kind of standard of why are you not married? But on the whole, there isn't that pressure for men. I was watching something last night and it was coming through a religious narrative and it was saying that, it's God's plan and it's God's destiny. But videos like that can get a bit annoying. There's this constant narrative of, oh, the time is not right. It's not meant to be yet. And that can get really frustrating when you see all your friends that are, happily married and having children and you're just like, shit, why is it not my time yet? That can bring a lot of people down when they're thinking, why is it not my time yet? And the reality is, as I've got older, what I've realised and as I've gone through life is that if you have standards, you will spend the majority of your time single. I need to make it clear what I mean by standards is not holding out for Elon Musk to DM you. Having standards is in just the basic minimum of respect from a man. A man that's going to treat you well, a man that will take you out for dinner. Why has it become now that a man taking out a woman for dinner is not being seen as a nice thing? It's being seen as like a treat that a woman should deserve to be taken out to dinner. It should be the bare minimum that men are treating women in this way, treating women nicely, with respect. And it's not even a money thing, it's a respect thing. As women are holding out for less and less, women are, I don't want to go too political in this, but women that aren't holding out for a man to take them to dinner, women that are accepting the Netflix and chill, they're accepting the situationships. It's making it shitty for the women like me that are holding out for a decent man because he's got that option. It's not even a money thing, it's a time thing. I've got to the stage now where it's like, shit, I don't even expect a man to pay for dinner. Just physically going out for dinner and paying half would be enough. I think where this is coming from is that I made a video about a year ago about deleting Tinder, and I did stay off Tinder for, I can't even remember, maybe a good 8-10 months. I was like, I am done with dating apps. And a few months ago I just thought I'll give it one more shot, and I did a little experiment. I did an experiment where I put my age to 31 and I get much more matches, and then I did an experiment where I put my actual age, and surprise, surprise, I got less matches. So I just thought, I'm absolutely done with this. Someone approached me and said, "Hi, how are you?" which is fine. The thing is, I had an horrendous day at work. Basically, someone I was really close to died at work, and it was like a horrendous day, probably the worst work day I've ever had. Just the whole team were just devastated. And this person messaged me and said, "Hi, how are you?" And it got to the evening and I was still trying to decompress everything that had gone on. And I thought, in this moment, I can either take on a persona, I can pretend this hasn't happened, I can just say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine, I've had a great day," not to scare this man off, to play into the female expectation that I've been brought up to hold, to be the nice, polite girl. I could just say, "Yeah, I'm fine, how are you?" But I decided, do you know what, I'm actually going to go with the truth. And I just said, "Oh, I'm really sorry to bring the mood down, but I've had a really bad day. Somebody at work died and it was an awful day. Hope you're okay." Obviously, he didn't reply straight away, but I just woke up the next morning and he'd unmatched me. And in that moment, I just thought, why am I on Tinder? Men on Tinder aren't looking to connect with human beings. This man obviously couldn't tolerate anything above human connection. This man was looking for a sex doll, pretty much. He just wanted nothing real life related, nothing nuanced at all. He just wanted validation from a woman, probably pictures, just sex, no human connection. And in that moment, he couldn't see that it was another human reaching out to a fellow human. He couldn't see that. He didn't want to comprehend that. He wanted the nice, pleasant, easygoing woman that panders to men. And sorry, that isn't me. In unmatching me, it did me a favour because I didn't waste any time. In that moment, I just deleted Tinder and thought, that is it for me. I'm never going on a dating app again. And you have to leave a reason on Tinder why you delete it each time. So I just went with very angry, the men just want sex and nothing more. Social media has destroyed society. I personally blame Tinder. Good day to you. I was just feeling so pissed off at that point, and it just confirmed that if you do wait for standards, you're going to be single a long time. It's what we have to acknowledge as women. We have to not allow men to treat us poorly. Women can't be the person that runs over to a guy's house, just has sex with them, and then they're in a scenario where they don't know what's going on. They don't know if the man likes them or not. We have to hold our standards and be single and have self-respect. And that's what I try and show on my channel. Maybe I failed because I'm not in a relationship, but I 100% have self-respect, and I do not let men treat me like shit. If men start to treat me like that in their messages, the door's there. And yeah, it means I'm single. And I'm telling the ladies out there watching this that yeah, it's better to be single and wait and have this concept of not yet, it hasn't happened yet, and try and deal with that rather than allow men to treat us poorly. That man that unmatched me just doesn't deserve a woman. He deserves to just be put in a cage somewhere and like fed to sharks, because he's just not looking for a female, a human. He is just looking for sex. And I know it's not all men. I know that not all men are like this. I know there are good men out there. It's just, girls, you're not going to get them on dating apps. It is literally trying to find a needle in a haystack. I've said in my previous videos of like what I've come across on dating apps and online dating, and it just isn't working for me. So I decided that's it, never again. It's actually encouraged me to get out there more in the real world, and I've started socializing more with friends. And yeah, I did ask that guy out at work, but at least I tried. At least I put myself forward, and at least I tried. Because you're ultimately going to have more chance of success asking people out in the real world after they've got to know you after a certain amount of time. Whereas on a dating app, people are just rejecting photos. They don't know you, they're not connected to you. It is frustrating when people are like, it's not your time yet, it'll happen when you least expect it. All this shit that's put out that says, oh, if you're attracting shitty people, it's because you're a shit person and you haven't healed. That's not true either. Because if you're an attractive person, you're going to attract stable people, you're going to attract losers, you're going to attract everyone because you're a good person. And anyone that's waiting, I mean, I'm just not going to tell you to have a shit ton of hobbies, but the only thing that's really helped me is having YouTube and having a focus and having something to always revert back to when the times are hard. I can think, I'm building something. That has really helped me with the weight, is having a focus that isn't centered on love and relationships. It's something that I can control and I can put effort into, separate from trying to find someone. I also had to acknowledge taking the data of what had worked previously in my life and what hadn't, and statistically apps haven't worked for me. Yeah, I can get a date, but the men aren't intentional on these dates. They're not marriage minded. So for me to keep swiping is a waste of my time. I wouldn't make a video saying never use dating apps, because I know they do work for some people, but for me personally, they don't work. I think I'm probably better in real life.